And so I think about in your life, what are the things, the people, the activities, what are the things that you do and the people that you're around that energize
Which is a
you?
great segue to the next episode that we're
Yes.
now in. Because I had a
Okay.
little outline with help from my friend GPT. And
Mhm.
I think there's a misconception of I've committed to this, so I need to do it. And as much as we're saying that,
Mhm.
you and I are both very aligned on the idea that you shouldn't commit to things that don't align with who you are, who you want to be, what your goals are, what your loves are. And it's okay sometimes just to say, you know what, I'm uncommitting myself from whatever I committed to.
Right, 'cause you were already
Yeah,
uncommitted to
yeah,
it.
and that goes back to that question I asked earlier was, the what validates the commitment? Because you could be showing up and doing the thing, even though you don't like it, but it could, yeah,
A
well,
lot
yeah,
of
there's that, yeah,
marriages,
yeah,
they're still married, you still have your commitment, but neither party is really happy. Neither party is operating in a space where they're at their best. They're definitely not making each other their best. So you're committed to keeping it together, but are you actually committed to what your
yeah.
vows really were, like, and what your intentions were? Um I absolutely love her, Esther Pearl. She talks that she's had one marriage, but she's had 3 marriages in that one marriage, right? And like the marriage
Sounds like me.
and they evolve. Yeah. Um so there's things where people are committed, but they've already uncommitted. Like, on the outside they're committed. Like, you're committed to your job, you still go show up every day, but are you bringing your best? Are you doing your best work? Like, no. So it's absolutely what you just said. Looking at where you've made commitments and are you still committed, and where might you need to recommit, reframe, or what you need permission to let go of, and fully live in the I am no longer committed to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I just thought of an example of excuse me, I've been wanting to get back to playing soccer, and a few years ago, it was a group of guys I met through one of my best friends, and we were, there was a bunch of people he knew. It was, I think we played all fall or winter and then all summer that year. And then nothing happened a year later. And then finally, the guy reached out who organized it all, was like, hey, we're starting back up again. And I originally said yes to it, but then I had to uncommit to it because it would have meant I couldn't have picked Mason up from soccer, which puts strain on the family. And
Mhm.
my new job has also put more strain on, lacking a bit of flexibility with schedules. I say that, and I was able to leave early to pick the boys up today, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm in prison or anything. Um, but I don't have the freedom I used to have just working from home all the time, right? So we've lost a little bit of that
Yes.
flexibility. So I had to uncommit from that, even though it's something I really wanted to do. It just didn't align with where I am in life right now and the bigger commitments I'd made.
Yeah. And that's key what you just said. Sometimes people think if they
Yeah,
it's FOMO, right? Like, if you don't do it now, you're never going to be able to do it, right? And yeah, that could be true for some things, but maybe it's just not the
yeah,
commitment for right now, and you need to spend another year or 2 years completing something until that commitment looks different. Then you can take that on. Um, when you commit to something, it's like when you say yes to something, it's for like people that have a hard time saying no to things. When you say every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Typically, we say yes to other people and no to something that we were committed to
yeah,
for ourselves, right? So just that realization that by making a commitment to something, you are going to have to make
yeah.
a choice. You can't be committed to everything all at once. So really thinking about before you say yes to something. Really, like when your friend texts you at 9 o'clock and you're full of life and energy, and they're like, "Hey, let's meet for drinks or dinner after," and you're like, "Yeah, let's do it." You're so excited, and then 3:30 rolls around. You're like, "Oh my god, I was so young and full of life this morning at 9 o'clock, and now I don't want to go." So really think about the things that you're
Yeah,
committing
and I can
to.
tell you, like FOMO is something I just do not have anymore. Like, I can't think of the last time that
Yeah,
I saw something that my friends were doing or heard about something that I didn't go to and been like, oh, felt that FOMO feeling. And
yeah,
a lot of that comes to knowing what your commitments are in life and just knowing that, okay, if I'd gone to that, then, I would have been late home and then I would have been able to get up early like I normally do. Or if I would got up earlier, I wouldn't have had enough sleep. And I think we
yeah,
talk a lot about habit stacking, but there's also a place for commitment stacking. And I think that can end up leading to good habits too. And it's really good for your
oh yeah,
mental health to realize what your commitments are, whether activities or decisions align with that. Because I think people spend so much
yes,
time stressing over, should I do this? Should I not do that? And when you get really clear on what your commitments are, and I'll tell you, I know we don't like to
it's
go
beautiful.
overly religious on here, but my kind of journey, I never lost faith, but I kind of definitely moved away from my Christian faith. The last few years, I've gone so far the other way. Being committed to being a good Christian is kind of the top, and then it's from there it's commitment to my family, then it's commitment to my friends and my country or whatever, people's health. But knowing what the chain of
Mm,
command is, I can make decisions so much easier
yeah,
now, and I don't stress over things like that.
yes.
Like dinner at 8 o'clock. No,
And
I mean,
that's
outside of your one that we had, even if it didn't start that late, but but genuinely, if someone said dinner at 8, no, I'm good.
yeah, yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
that's the power of commitment, right? Because commitment breeds clarity, and when you have clarity, it becomes so much easier to make decisions. You waste so much less time, and when you're wasting less time, it means you have more time to do the
yeah,
things that you want to do. Um, we're doing 2026 business planning, with the agents, and we've been doing it for the past month, and looking at, okay, what are the lead generation things that you're committed to? And I don't allow more than three things, three focus areas, and you're doing a lot of sub things in that, but more than three
yeah,
things, it's too much. And that's where like the FOMO, because I'm committed to this, but then this looks interesting, and this person just called me and they're going to sell me this great system that's going to, like, warm up leads for me. Like, you just get to say no to everything else. Now, if after 3 months of doing something, it's not working and you're doing everything that you committed to, it's okay to make adjustments. But so many agents get just, there's no blinders. Everything's interesting to them. And I get it. Like, I'm high I personality. But when you really thoughtfully make the commitment to the top three things, and everything that you do pours into that, and everything that you're not doing, it outside of that is for your personal life, your health, your family, your friends, all of that, life becomes so much more freeing. So like the commitment brings you freedom, it brings you clarity, it helps you make decisions on, what to try next, holding your money accountable, holding your activities accountable. You don't just commit to something if it's not working after 3 months, 6 months, a year. For God's
yeah,
sake, let go of it. But if you don't have clarity, you don't know what to let go of, and you certainly don't know what to try next, or how to get to a point of, okay, if I erase this, what am I going to
yeah.
replace it with?
And I'll just say, if any of your agents need a talk, send them my way. I used to settle that lead generation shit. There's only one that I would
Yes.
recommend,
Yeah.
although I don't know what the state of it is now
Yeah.
because none of the original team's there. But yeah, I was getting flashbacks as you were saying that of like, oh God, like I know what these
Yeah.
agents do because I was one of them too. But then I also
Yeah.
used to settle with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I always used to joke if you want to make money, just create something that real estate agents need because at some point you'll be hot
Yes.
shit.
Well, I mean, and salespeople are some of the easiest people to
Yeah, and
sell
honestly,
to.
like a lot of it's one reason I got out of that business. There are some great people and great products, but also they prey on that
Yeah.
vulnerability of a salesperson who, especially in something like real estate, like the sales role I'm in now is completely different.
Mhm.
Um, there's no pressure right now, at least because I'm still in kind of training mode. But real estate agents wake up every day without a paycheck. Is very, you don't often see that you don't get that instant gratification that a lot of salespeople do. Like even when I was selling fitness, I just needed one appointment. I sold the person, they bought something. Um,
Yeah.
Real estate, you've got to show a bunch of houses a bunch of times. You maybe got to speak to someone 20 times before you even get to meet them. And a lot of the time you're just dealing with pure strangers. And
Yep.
these products prey on that because they know, coming tying it back into commitment, that it's hard to stay committed to what you've laid down as you're doing with the business plan now because you don't get that immediate return on it.
Yeah. Yeah, or you've made commitments that really aren't in alignment with your natural
Um,
styles. That's why I love
yeah,
coaching to disc and what you're doing lead gen with, because you can commit to anything. And we see people being really successful up on stages. But if your personality style, if your behavioral style is not a natural fit for what it takes to consistently be committed to that lead
yeah.
generation tactic, you're never going to do it long enough for it to really come to, like, you're never going to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to burn out before it. So really looking at what's interesting to you and what's in alignment with what your natural
Yeah.
tendencies are going to be. Like if you're great in front of people, but you're doing stuff that's just behind a computer all day long, that's you're going to be miserable. And if you're not great with people and you really prefer to not interact a lot, and you say you're going to use networking as one of your lead generation strategies because Gary Vaynerchuk said you should, and I love Gary, this is not against Gary, um, you're gonna fizzle out and be exhausted and then start back
This is an
over again.
interesting one.
Now we're
So on that topic, and we kind of talked about it before in another
yeah,
episode, like cold calling, I hate it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
in my consulting role before I took the heat timer job, I was doing a lot of it, and I actually kind of enjoyed it,
hmm,
and I was actually pretty good at it.
hmm,
And it was just
yeah,
it was a weird experience, and I think it was going back to what I said earlier, I was committed to the outcome, and maybe that was
yeah,
and again, maybe that's just me, right? Like, I wasn't passionate about the house. That's,
hmm,
yes, you could put some, nice sprinkles on it, say it's where memories are made and all that stuff, but, like, someone's health is the most important thing, and people's families' health is the
sure,
most important thing, at least in my mind, in my eyes. Um,
yeah,
so I think it goes back to that outcome because I'm committed to that. I know I can
yeah,
have an impact if I get someone to
yeah,
sign up for this certification. They can help more people. Like I'm genuinely committed to that.
yeah.
Whereas
Well,
yeah,
you believe in it, and you
yeah,
believe in it. Like, I always said I could sell horse pee in a
yeah,
bottle if I believed in it. I don't love cold calling, but the things that I'm passionate about, if I really believe it can help someone, to me, it's like not even a cold call. It's like, I have this information. I have something that I know can help you. Why would I would be doing a disservice to
yeah,
not put it in front of you? Whereas something I don't really believe in, or even recruiting or attraction, if I don't believe in, if I'm asking you to like pick up and move, or shift systems, or move brokerages, or move your, because it's not moving brokerages, it's really shifting your whole business. If I don't believe that it's the right thing for you, I'm not, like, that's, I can't
yeah,
cold call to that, right? And even I believe in the brokerage, but I'm not calling brand new agents because we're not the right fit for brand new agents. It's not even an option. So I could try to attract them, um, but I don't. This is not the vehicle for them
yeah,
yet. A few of them potentially, but cold calling, I don't coach to cold calling really, because even circle prospecting to me is still warm calling because you have something of value. You should not pick up the phone if you don't have something of value to offer that person on the
yeah,
other side of the call. So, I mean, and I can think of a million different reasons that are
yeah.
valuable.
So one thing I wanted to do, I'm gonna for once, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus. I'm gonna answer the question first, so you have
Ooh,
time to think about it.
ooh,
And again, I don't want to
okay.
get to what are your next year's goals because I do want to do a whole episode
Mm,
on planning for next year. Even though the punchline of
mm.
all of that is you shouldn't be waiting until the next year starts. You can start right now.
Yeah,
But
we're in
it's
next
an
year.
it's a good
Yeah.
kind of the year winds down and whatnot. Even though it's a fake New Year's, New Year's is in April. Um, More on that another time. And so anyway, so my question is, what are you committed to doing right now? My
Mm,
answer is I heard Chris Williamson say this. You know who he is, right? Podcaster. You've probably seen clips of him.
mm-mm.
He's got a huge channel.
Yeah.
Really sweet guy, from England. One of those guys that's just what I find really endearing about him is just he's just you can tell he loves absorbing from all of these great guests he has, and he's got a really good way of
Yeah.
kind of then taking what he's learned from them and putting into little pieces. And something he said, and I don't know who he learned it from, or it may be an original thought, but he said, um, "The answers you are looking for are in the silence that you're avoiding." And
Mm,
my commitment after hearing that is to spend more of that time in silence, not paying. And it's not about literally sitting in silence, but it's about reducing the noise around you. And I've kind of been doing that. I'm not as tempted or swayed by things I might see in social media. Going back to that FOMO thing, like I'm not affected by if someone's gone to a great event. Maybe I'm happy for them for doing it, but like I don't feel the need to have gone. Um, and I'm more
yeah.
committed now to just tuning that all out and just letting the universe kind of guide me into what my next steps are and all of that. And just that's really
Mm,
what it means is tuning into that silence where a lot of people avoid that, much like your example there with real estate agents is onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing, because there's just too much noise coming at them. When we can start finding the
yeah.
signal in that noise and tuning it all out and just really sitting in that silence, that's where those answers come. And that's what I'm committed to right now.
Right now, as you're ending 2025.
Right now is in like right now. Like you have to
Right
start
now.
right now after you say it.
Yes. Okay, you're starting this right now. This isn't something
Yes,
you've
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah. But
intentional.
I heard that
Yeah.
heard him say that last night, and I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So let's
Oh,
dig
she's
there
buying
a little
herself
bit
more
more for a
time.
second. No, I want to know because it
Yeah.
sounds great. And I get it. Like, I get it. I can conceptualize it. And it's one of those things like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then the podcast ends. And whether you're a listener or it's you and I, it's like, well, what does that actually look like? Like, what does that mean? What does that translate into action wise? Is it meditation? Is it, like, what are you exactly
It's funny
committed to
thinking about it,
doing?
you saying that. It's really being committed to being in alpha flow. Um,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I had these grand plans of having my practice being a full-time thing and all of that, but having especially having done it in the fitness space already, I know how long it takes to build a business. And as I've said before, I don't want to I don't want revenue to be my main driver for this practice. I want it to be about helping people. I don't make any extra
Mhm.
money on the supplement store I have. I give my full discount to my clients, and people might say that's a stupid
Mhm.
business decision, but as I tell my clients, I don't want you to think that I'm making these recommendations for you based on the fact I'm going to get a cut at the back. I think this is the best move for you, and
Yeah.
I want you to do it without as with as little financial hardship as possible. Um, and all of that to say, yes, that sounds great, and I see things still with all the accounts I follow of how you can make it. You can live your dream and have your full-time practice, work 5 hours a week, and still make all this money. I'm like, yeah, I'm working harder now than I ever, well, not than I ever had when I owned the gym. I was that was 90 hours a week when we first opened. That was pretty brutal. But hour wise, I probably am working, possibly driving around or whatever, and I love it. And it's because I'm committed to the outcome of the stability it provides my family. Even though, like I mentioned, some of
Mhm.
the flexibility's been changed there, but it's I'm still seeing that stuff, the temptation to be like, oh yeah, maybe I should go with that company and run some ads and see if I can build it up. And I'm so happy just ignoring it and sitting in that silence and just letting things build organically. And I'm loving it right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's definitely not being
Yes.
reactive. It's observing. These are things I'm hearing. It's taking in, and I'm like picturing like filtering through. Like it's not that you're ignoring it. Some things you're just taking in and filtering very quickly. Like this is not something to keep in brain power versus another thing that might come in like, interesting. I want to be able to chew on that a little bit more. So that I
Yeah,
might let
kind of. I
stay.
mean, I have plenty of people who are potential clients that quite funny. A lot of my social media content does get people to engage with me, and they ask me questions. And
Hmm.
a great example there is that I just answer the questions. I just help. Versus if I had made a
Yeah.
commitment to make my practice my full-time revenue generating
Mm,
thing, I would have always felt this pressure
yes.
to try and, all right, now how do what script can I use to get them to commit to me? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
attracting instead of chasing. And you definitely don't have
Yeah.
commission
That's
breath.
that's nice hot
That's
taste
good.
in that, I tell you.
Yes. Um, okay. So tell me, and maybe I'm going down the wrong path. Maybe there aren't action steps in
Well,
this, but like, well, if someone says, I like this, I like what Paolo's saying, how do they practice that?
I think it's creating that mental framework, right? Of right, okay, does what does that does this noise align with the commitments I've already made? Are those commitments I've already
Hmm.
made commitments I want to keep? And it's kind of that yes no thing, and then figuring out, okay, then ignore it, get away.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Get away. So letting it come in and deciding, does this support me in what I've committed to? Does it keep me neutral
Right.
or does it move me away? Right. Okay. And also knowing that maybe something's not right for right now, but it doesn't mean you have to let go of it forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, the silence
'Cause-
part of it too is we we pile on a lot of distractions for ourselves, whether that be,
Mhm.
you know, watching something on Netflix, being buried on social media, doom scrolling, because that is all noise and it is all you avoiding just sitting and thinking.
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's an action step right there. Just sitting and thinking. And I would even say before that, when we gave the kind of challenge of think about the people and the environments that you're in that energize you. And it might sound funny to think about energize and sitting in silence, like one feels like energy and movement and one feels like silence and stillness, but that's actually extremely can be extremely energizing. So what type of environment do you have or do you need to create for yourself to have that stillness and have that silence? My one of my bosses, Nikki, she just went, she was terrified to do it. And I don't want to speak for her. She's controlling in the sense that she's in operations, like she does and has done for the last 18 years every single task that has to get done in the real estate business, from the team to now the new brokerage. Um and she went to California and they are hiking 4 hours a day. You can actually do it in silence. I don't know if she's doing it in silence or doing it with the group. Eating healthy, no caffeine. There's, all the things you would imagine. And it's totally technology free. other than she does have Wi-Fi at night in her room, which she's already been on. So, but that commitment to knowing that like she needed to reset a bit and then putting herself in an environment that really forces her to go into that
I mean, yes,
stillness.
it's exactly what it is.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah. And there's a lot of fear in that too. People stay in chaos because they are terrified of what they're going to be actually facing if and when they get rid of all the noise and chaos.
yeah,
So that's the comfort zone that's not actually comfortable, but it's like the devil you know versus the devil you
yeah.
don't know. And uh I go back to what we talk about a lot. I do not believe we are meant to do those things alone. Now, sitting in silence and stillness and creating space for you where you might physically be alone, it is still so important that you have people around you that support you
Well, I mean,
in
again,
that.
it's funny as you were saying that I had flashbacks of us having coffee, and like that was silence right
Yeah.
there. Like everything was, it was still. We're planning. Hey, we should do a podcast. Get going on that. Like you,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to be silent
Yeah.
and alone. It's just tuning out all the
Mhm.
noise and really tapping into the signal. I think that's really how I interpret what he says about that silence, because it's not necessarily
Yeah.
literal silence. It's just tuning out the noise.
Right. Yep. So it's like these powerful words that we all have perceptions of
Yeah,
and what it means. Um and it's all we all have these different words. I was doing a disvalidation with an agent today and the word win, every time it talked about her winning through perseverance and persistence, she's like, "Yeah, but I'm not competitive. I want the team to win." And there was nothing about her winning as an individual or as a team. It didn't denote that, but her brain every time the win part came out was like, "Yeah, but I'm not competitive." So it's just so interesting finding those words that are really charged for us and really looking at, okay, well maybe there's a different meaning to that, or maybe, I'm just kind of dismissing it because I have this one perception of it.
yeah,
So silence is definitely one of those words. Like, what does silence mean to you? What does silence look like to you? What does silence feel for people that, maybe are very lonely? Silence might feel like an enemy, right? Like a silence is a place I'm too much. I don't want to be in silence. Right? So then they may be creating chaos that's not even good for them just
yeah,
to be avoiding the silence. Powerful. Words are powerful. The way we think about them are powerful. Our commitments are powerful because they're decisions and their clarity. And we don't operate in a vacuum, and in everything that we commit to, uncommit to, make a decision on, it's impacting our friends, our family, the people that we love the most. And so we have
yeah.
a
And I would kind of just,
responsibility.
I would love our audience to, because this episode will be rolling into the 2026 episode. I would challenge everybody
Yeah.
just to take stock of, all right, what did I commit to this year that I either did succeed in, or fulfill the commitment. Succeed's not the right word, or not.
Mhm.
And I think really analyzing why of each of those, because that will help you moving forward with what you should be committing to. Uh,
Mhm.
maybe I shouldn't have committed to this because and the reason I didn't commit, I didn't fulfill that commitment was because it actually doesn't really align with who I am. I
Right.
think that will really unload a lot of stress that you have, just because it frees
Mhm.
up all that mental space of, because and I know what it's like. You commit to something and then you're always forcing yourself to do it, fighting those inner
Yeah.
thoughts. It's not a good place to be in.
So what are you going to carry with you into 2026? What are you going to close the
Well,
chapter
don't think
on?
about
Like
that yet.
it's
Think about
run
that
its course?
next episode.
Think about next episode. Well, they can start thinking about it. Let's start prepping for the bigger conversation. Um, Bottom line, commitment is freedom. Commitment brings clarity. commitment brings a lot of self evaluation and reflection on who you are as a person. And remembering that you don't have to do it alone, you're not meant to do it alone. And while there are actions that we must do on our own, having your community around you, whether it's one person or five people, or one person that you know and five people that you don't know that you just love on socials or follow what they do, like you have support around you everywhere.
Yeah, and if anything, you have support in us.
Absolutely. Please message us. We'd love it. All right. Until next time, friends. Bye for now.